Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic. Contrary to popular belief, what's not a bad thing? Giving up. Sometimes giving up is the best thing you can do. Gotta know when to hold 'em, and when to fold 'em. Know when to walk away, know when to run. Somebody who changes their beliefs. Similarly, changing your mind /opinion about something, political or otherwise. Even if you don't entirely change your opinion, it's healthy to frequently challenge your viewpoints. Listening to other perspectives is good, too. Even if they don't contradict your opinion, they can make you consider something you hadn't before. Not knowing something. It's not shameful to admit it. Okay, but I was 17 and didn't know pepperoni was a meat. Edit, since people won't stop asking, I just never thought about it before. Did you think it was a pepper? Breakups. Sometimes it's better to end things instead of trying to hold a failing relationship together. Edit, thanks for all the great replies to my simple comment, as well as the awards. I got broken up with by my first Real GF on New Year's, and all these comments have helped me see that life will move on and I'm not alone. May we all have better luck this year. In my divorce group there was a saying, there are plenty of failed marriages where the parties are still together. I got divorced years ago. I can't imagine this last year if we were forced to be in the same house with no break due to COVID. I sometimes hear my neighbors having screaming fights and I realize there are worse things than being alone. Failure. Good decisions come from experience. But experience comes from bad decisions. This is life, so never regret. Learn from mistakes and go ahead. Shania Mark Twain. Edit, author of quote added, thanks. I worked for a white-collar criminal defense firm for many years. Many of our clients would have saved themselves from criminal charges merely by letting their businesses fail. I believe that knowing how to fail should be taught as part of MBA programs. That's the prologue to Fargo. Saying no when someone asks you to do something that they're entirely capable of doing. My neighbor just called me to come fix her guest bed. She has a house full of relatives from California in, and I really don't feel like exposing myself to whatever might be in that house. Plus, why can't one of them fix the damn bed? I said I was busy, but I might be able to do it later. I'm on the fence about this. Don't do it. If you don't want to do it, say number. Don't potentially compromise your health to be polite. The stigma behind talking about your pay with fellow co-workers. In the States it is legal. By talking about your wages you help ensure you and co-workers are being paid fairly. Edit, I made an oopsie. I think it was understood, but what I mean is, you should talk about your wages. At my old job, a manager for another site who was visiting my location tried to scold me for asking my co-worker how much she makes when she made a comment about not getting paid enough. He said it's illegal and super inappropriate. We were teenagers working at a car wash. Literally nobody would care if we discussed our pay, and it's actually, from what I've heard, illegal to try to prevent people from talking about their pay in the US. Yep, lots of managers don't seem to understand basic employment laws. My current manager tried pulling the "you're not allowed to talk about pay." So I took her back to our break room and showed her the poster that specifically says it is illegal for an employer to dissuade employees from discussing wages. So she switched to saying that it makes things a hostile working environment. Of course I make it a point to discuss my wages with anyone willing, and she hasn't said anything since. I'm just always surprised how managers can completely miss these legal posters that they themselves put up. Going to dinner or a movie alone. Update, holy shit, who would have known so many people like being alone? Thanks for the awards and upvotes everyone. I actually look up to people who can go out alone to dinner or a movie. I have no idea, but whenever I go out alone, I get so stressed and anxious. I'm not sure why, because I don't really feel concerned that people are judging me. My best guess is just knowing I don't have someone next to me for support. It would be really nice to be able to go out and feel comfortable alone though. Someday I hope to get past those feelings, and I applaud those who have. I did this a lot when I couldn't find friends who were free. If I went to dinner by myself I just took my sketchbook and would draw. I'd take up a server's table for a while, but I'd always tip good to compensate. Asking for help. Not being super ambitious about your work /career. Yeah, I'm happy just being a cog in the machinery. I earn a decent wage that affords me the things I need and enjoy in life, and I'm in a good rut in my daily routine, no need to exert a lot of energy to change that. Yeah, man. It doesn't mean I am lazy or anything, I am just not super passionate about every single aspect of my job. It's my hobbies that fulfill me, not my job. My job is a means to an end. I enjoy it sometimes, but at the end of the day it's not something I enjoy doing in my free time. It's just something that has a good wage and I don't mind doing it. This is me. I don't love it, but it's a very short commute, a decent wage, and I work my shifts over 4 days, so have a 3-day weekend every week. I could leave for more money elsewhere, but the benefits of time are more important to me. Political leaders admitting they are wrong and doing a U-turn. I agree, though it seems that political leaders that admit a wrong or change position tend not to be political leaders for long, because they lose party support and political cachet. Defending yourself against a customer who is extremely rude. I was at a grocery store during our first lockdown and some dude was screaming at the staff because he couldn't use cash in the non-cash line. They were all marked which were cash and which weren't. I cannot stand that shit, so I walked over and said something like, I know they can't tell you this but I can. You're a fucking asshole, and because you're too stupid to understand rules you've decided to take it out on them. Go fuck yourself. It took his anger away from them for a second, but I'm a pretty big guy so he wasn't too interested in going face to face with me. That's amazing. I'm sure they appreciated it, man. I didn't know until about a week ago that the saying the customer is always right is actually supposed to be the customer is always right in matters of taste. If you have a customer that is a fuck, it is plenty okay to tell them to fuck off. You don't want them as a customer anyways. I just started firing customers from my business a couple years ago, and what to know, firing those 5 to 10 customers has made me enjoy my job immensely more. One of the nice things about working in hotels is most have a do not rent list. It's just a list of people we've decided we don't want to deal with anymore for one reason or another. Sometimes they're a destructive drunk, sometimes they're just a dick. Admitting you're wrong. Edit, since I guess some people aren't understanding. I'm not saying it's a popular belief to be willfully refusing to admit wrongdoing. I'm saying people are too prideful to do so. You don't even have to admit to the person that you are wrong, but admit to yourself, and make something out of it. I feel like getting into an argument with someone will lessen the chances of you changing their opinion. Their pride kicks in and suddenly they don't want to change their opinion, only to prove you wrong. On the other hand, if you talk to them calmly and really try to understand why they think that way, you can tackle the problem at its core without them feeling attacked. Being basic in the sense that you have likes and hobbies similar to a group of people. So true. I feel even in the sense of being a basic bitch with Starbucks and skinny jeans and Uggs. Just because it's a popular thing and is comfortable doesn't mean it's bad. Popular things are popular for a reason. No, Mom. You're basic. And that's okay. Eleanor Shellstrop, The Good Place. I love seeing references to this show after recently finishing it. And if you remove the "and that's okay," whomever you use this on will be very devastated. Disliking your family. If your family always have been a bunch of assholes to you, what is the sense of even having respect for them? This one hits me for max damage. Glad to hear I'm not alone. Me 3. Toxic is toxic and I'm not having it. MSG. That's it. Uncle Roger has started popularizing it. Here. MSG so good. Uncle Roger didn't even take leg off chair. I was going to say this. I'm so tired of hearing how it's so bad. It's not. And people eat it all the time. It's not like it's only in Chinese food. It's even a natural ingredient in stuff like broccoli and tomatoes. Putting your own happiness before the expectations of your family. Edit, I'm going to clarify that I meant more along the line that you shouldn't allow the expectations from family members like parents/grandparent/uncles/aunts etc. to get in the way of what makes you happy. I kept the comment more open-ended since situations can differ wildly and different people can have different reasons for feeling this way, so I didn't want to be too specific. This issue came up today and I'm glad I've just seen your comment. Almost like it was meant for me. Thank you. I'm glad my comment helped. Whatever the issue is, I wish you luck in it and I wish you a lot of happiness. Disappointing your parents or friends by your life decisions. Usually, they come around in time when they see what you chose is what makes you happy and that is what they really wanted in the end anyway. It can be an uncomfortable wait until that time comes, but it is shorter and feels better than a lifetime of regret. I've heard a bunch of people spouting off recycling isn't worth it. It is even worse for the environment than just throwing it away. This is case of hearing something correct and just blanket applying it to everything. There are certain things that are undeniably better to recycle, specifically metals. And for glass and paper there are ways to make it environmentally positive. Plastics are the hardest due to contamination, but we can make it better as well as reduce single-use plastics. Yes, corporations tricked us into believing recycling was the key to fixing the environment, but that doesn't mean that recycling can't be useful. The slogan reduce, reuse, recycle was very deliberate as they put the best ways to help the environment in the order it's most effective.